right now. Everything's gonna be all right now. Everything's gonna be all right now. Everything we gonna be all right. And when I wake up, I recognize. Hey, Daniel, what's good, man?
What's happening, people?
Welcome to another episode of Real Comic Book Talk, where we get it in. When we was born to win, I got a chopper and I'm doing my thing without no sin. Bars, I'm the greatest to ever do it. Quick, blank, period. Let's go. Oh, I missed that. We the best that I missed that one. Ooh, I missed doing that. I missed it. Oh, how do I miss that day?
We here. We in here, people.
We in the
Here to
building.
talk about that Black Panther.
Cashed out. Woo.
All about that Black Panther review.
Oh my God.
Spoilers ahead.
Oh yes. Everybody, I want to put up a spoiler warning. I don't know how to do it on the thing, but either way, it's going to be spoilers. So be clear. It's all spoilers. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the live chat. I'm gonna see if I can pin it. I'm gonna say there are spoilers in here.
Yeah, boy, we're gonna spoil the whole movie. So if you ain't see Black Panther, do not watch.
We gave him a whole weekend.
Give him what?
Gave him a whole weekend to watch the movie.
Gave him a weekend to watch the movie.
And most of Monday.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Right, so if you can't see that, I can't help you. There are spoilers here. Somehow is already leaving. That is upset. I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. But I do what I gotta do. So there's spoilers ahead. It is what it is. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be very fun. Also got a surprise for Danny. I want him to answer it, but we'll wait till the end because he doesn't know about it because I kind of just found it. So I'm gonna see what he thinks. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great time. Woo! Real quick, Dan, before we get into it, man. How you been, man? How you been?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Saw another great comic book movie, so I'm good to go and everything. You ready for this?
Nah, I'm not ready. I had so many thoughts as I'm going in my head. I just saw like the worst because top 10 MCU. I mean, well, they did all 30, and I mean, when I say it was the worst, dang, it might have been the dumbest thing ever. They had Infinity War number 10. They had the first Guardians of the Galaxy at number 25.
Yo, it's a good thing we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
At some point, we got to rank the top like 15 movies.
We're not there today. We are at Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
We're not there today, but when I saw that, I was like, man, I gave it a thumbs down and everything on YouTube. It's stupid. It's stupid.
As you should.
Well,
Black Panther Wakanda Forever gets a thumbs up. It was a good movie for me. It was a good movie.
That's it. Come on. As much as you've been hyping this, it's a good movie. Let it all out. Just let it all out. Just get it out your system.
It was Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The movie is pretty much a movie about grief, mourning,
right on the nose,
and it's a war movie. They get into that, boy, and yeah. So there's a lot of yelling and a lot of crying and a lot of I'm not ready to accept yet in this movie. And yeah, so shoot, you by all means get ready to probably cry. Probably cry. That's up to you. Yeah. So let's get into it. So what you think of the movie first?
First of all,
because I said good. You know, I just jumped out there a good movie.
You just said good. I don't know why you saying good when you last week you said you already know it's going to be the greatest comic book movie you've ever seen in your life, and then when you left the theater, you're like, "This is the greatest comic book movie I've ever seen in my life."
It's pretty damn good.
It was emotional. I will tell you that from the beginning. I'm like from the opening scene all the way till they did the title card. I mean, it was emotions everywhere. I mean, everywhere. The funeral, T'Challa's funeral. Then when they did the Marvel title card with no sound, no music, no nothing, it was just images of him as Black Panther, T'Challa, and just, whew. I mean, it was. When we talk about in the theater, I went 2 times. I went on Sunday and I went on Thursday. With you and Al. And both Thursday was like super silent, and Sunday, no different. Even my son Logan, 5, didn't even make a sound. I mean, like it was quiet in that theater. It was almost like
fresh on your mind still. Then,
of course, man. You knew I was gonna go see it twice, and both times I had extra tickets just to make sure Black people make their money. It is what it is. It is what it is. I was a part of that 180 million opening weekend. I was a part of that for more reasons than I should have. But yeah, it's just there was emotion in the movie, a lot of grief. My baby sister, who's a grown woman at this point in her life, she cried and she turned to me like, "You didn't tell me I was going to cry this movie." It's like, I did. So you're going to cry about 2 times. Don't blame me because you didn't remember. My best friend, she on Instagram, she was like, "Nobody warned me I was going to be crying in the theater." I was like, "I did." She's like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "I told you in the trailer when the first trailer came out and I sent it to you. I was like, you're going to cry this movie. Be ready." She's like, "I don't remember that." And I pulled up the text message. I showed you. You're going to remember. It's emotional time. Oh, my. It was such a great movie. I mean, once we get into like the details and like your favorite parts and all that great stuff, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Bump it. Let's get into it. Dan, what would you have changed in the movie? Oh, and before you go, I just want to point out. Remember earlier we were talking about how? All right, so side note, everybody, when we get back into the story, so let's let y'all know something. We actually did a recorded review, and it didn't turn out well. Like, a bunch of different things went wrong. Let's just leave it like that. Bunch of things went wrong. And Dan, at one point, he was like, he had a problem with the music, how it was overplaying. Like, so you couldn't hear the words. That was not the movie mix. When I went to go see it in regular digital, no issue at all, Dan. So it's either they messed up on the IMAX theater, or I honestly think it might have been IMAX. Like, not, I don't remember. I think it might have been that theater's IMAX. Like, I think they messed that up and nobody sold them to fix it. Because it's like 2 movies in a row has done that. And any other time I went to an IMAX movie, I've never had that issue. So I think it might just be that theater. I'm also might never go to that theater again because they didn't have nachos and cheese. Both times I went to the theaters, and I almost lost it. I mean, I almost lost it.
Time for us now. Oh, that means we got to downgrade. Oh, yeah.
No, we just got to go to a new theater.
We got to downgrade. No, we can buy the cheap seats. I don't mind paying less to see a movie.
The cheap seats don't have nothing to do with you not having nachos and cheese.
I don't mind paying less money.
Until that remedy is fixed, when you have nachos and cheese, we're going to another theater. We're going to Regal from now on. AFC's messed this up. We're going to Regal.
That's you. You being out don't care what they serve. We here to watch.
I care.
We don't.
I care.
Okay.
Nachos and cheese. Opening night of a movie, you're supposed to be double stocked on stuff. Especially when it's Black Panther, when you're like, oh yeah, we need a budget. We want everybody to come through the theater and buy snacks and stuff because that's how we make our money. And then you don't have snacks. That's an issue. Neither here nor there. I'm about to I'm going off the rails. But again, like I was saying, the sound thing, it's an IMAX. I mean, that was that theater's IMAX problem. It's not a problem throughout the movie. Like if you go watch the movie somewhere else. And it was, yeah. So it was with that being said, Dan, neither you or me, which one we're gonna start with the cons? Just to get the negative out the way. So we
the cons?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The movie, I'll have to go first. The movie was too long. Did not need to be that dang long. It did not need to be that long. They could have cut that out. And as a matter of fact, when I thought about it, had time to think about it and everything, what they could have cut out got a couple notes over there. Was the Agent Ross, who really did. The thing about this movie was
That's a good point.
it followed the typical, whether you noticed it or not, it still followed the typical MCU way of doing things and the MCU method. And one of those methods was definitely Agent Ross being in the movie, him and Valentine. They basically were in there to set them up for other movies and stuff. For their whole purpose was to set them up for other movies, like to finally define her character. Now we know she's the head of the CIA, and Wakanda's probably going to use Agent Ross later on, and he's going to be like a freelance agent or whatever now because he's on the run. But yeah, he didn't need to be in the movie. They could have cut him out, and that would have saved time. They could have knocked the what's the name, Riri's character. Her character was like, you. I remember you told me this years ago. Captain America: Civil War, and Black Panther didn't need to be in that movie for that movie to happen. Like all his scenes were like not really necessary. You could have cut her scenes down, or not have her in the movie as much, because it wasn't, for me, it was like, okay, I guess so, and everything, but it was yeah, it no. And yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, the visuals. Oh my goodness. Like it was dull. The color was dull, especially underwater. Like, because I saw another picture online where they did an HD picture of what the Shuri was wearing, her outfit, and it wasn't as clear. Now, remember, I was like, I didn't see all those colors in the movie. And I was like, that whole underwater when they went to Talakan was dull and everything. That whole ocean vibe and everything. It was doled out, or like it had like a some sort of like they do filter on there. Yeah, exactly. And but
like Titans did in season 1 when they had that blue filter over the whole.
Yeah. The whole Tolacon thing was like a filter. But yeah, that's all I got for the bad. That's it for now. I'm pretty sure there's others. I just can't think of it right now.
Well, I'm never gonna advocate for cutting Riri Williams out. I'm a huge fan of hers. I will be to the end of time. I will stand by her through thick and thin. I know I'm very, very small contingent of that because a lot of people don't like her. I love Riri Williams. I loved her from the first time I read her book, first time her first appearance. I read her origin story and how tragic it was. I'm Riri for life. I might get Ironheart tatted on me somewhere at some point in my life.
I said that because to cut time off of how long it was, because it didn't need to be 2 hours and 40-something minutes. It could have been like 2 hours and 20 minutes or 2 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. It didn't need to be that damn long.
Nah, you don't cut out Riri. Cut out the white. Yeah, you cut out with the white guys. White people. You don't cut out Riri.
Okay.
I'm not cutting out Riri. I'm just not going to do it. I can't do it. There's like a part of me that's like, no, don't cut Riri. Find someone you don't cut Riri. If anything, you add more Riri. If anything.
Okay, what you not like about
I will agree with you that about the Age of Ross kind of seemed pointless. Because his story absolutely led to him just getting captured for no reason and it felt like everything you said is right on the money, especially about the part like it just had really was there just to set Valentine up as the head of CIA and stuff like that. So she's kind of like the Amanda Waller of the MCU now. Just kind of
they just solidified her position
because it really led to nothing, and maybe like that's what it seemed like from a MCU build the world perspective. So the story perspective felt like they were just there so they can say the president wants to destabilize Wakanda as an active.
He couldn't even say nothing. All his scenes looked foolish. They had him looking foolish the whole time, like, we need you to tell us something, but we can't tell you something. And then he was over there trying to explain to his bosses, it's not the Wakandians, but I can't tell you who it is because it's just not them. Like, what? You look foolish. Like, this is a waste of time.
He does another power. But he didn't, again, at this point, he didn't know who it was either. I'm I'm surprised nobody had the recording of the first scientists. When they attacked the joint effort to find vibranium in the ocean, and the lady said, I've seen her in other shows. I can't remember her real name, another TV, but she said it wasn't a Wakandas; they were blue. Like nobody just had that recorded. I mean, it was a government operation. I'm pretty sure everything's recorded. I mean, my goodness, they record my phone calls in real life. I know they do. Illuminati. But it was like I said, so that felt like it was just, man, we can't have a movie without any black people. So gotta throw some white in. We gotta give them a reason. But it also did, I will say this though, it did kind of show you the perspective of how sure we call them the white colonizers. Like, and Namor looked at them like the people on the surface, like, look, they're gonna come for us. And if they don't, just because they haven't done it now and they don't have the way to do it now, they will at one point. And this is just a start. And they're going to come just like they did everywhere else. Those people come from across the land, thinking they found something, thinking it belongs to them just because. If they don't like it, then we're going to take them over. It just feels like that. Steve y'all said, why are we not watching the Commanders game? Because they suck. They're going to get blown out. Even though I think they will win. If they can keep it close, I think Taylor Hardy can win. But it's not that kind of channel. Spoilers are here. So outside of that, I understand. I agree with that. I don't like the underwater the way it was technically handled. And that's mostly because I've seen it done better, like in Aquaman. Like for instance, when Namor or Namor, as he said in the movie, it seemed like that whole scene, like he floated down, gave the speech before they went to go attack Wakanda. It looked very CGI, like the best they could do in CGI water, but it looked very CGI, like it wasn't him talking at all. Maybe he was doing the motion capturing, but it just looked, real CGI. I think they should have did was the Aquaman route when they filmed it dry, like they were just like in a dry place with a bunch of green screen, and then filmed it in, and then did the computerization and put it in water afterwards. It's called from filming dry to wet. So he's not actually in the water, but then like your Ty's hair, his hair floating in the water, CGI, or everybody kind of moving around CGI, so that they could be real actors in the water and look like they'd be in the water. That's what I think they should have did. But hey, I guess it's cheap. I don't know why. I just know it will look real CGI.
They obviously were trying their hardest to definitely not. They are definitely trying not to be like Aquaman. That's what especially them talking about. He brought a sun down. He gave them the light underwater and everything. They're like, I don't know how deep they were, but they were so deep. It didn't.
Oh, he told you how deep they were. That's why she needed a suit. Remember? He was like, after he finished telling his origin story and how his people, it's like, why are you telling me this? And then he's like, I would love to come see it. It's like, well, can't go in that because the depth of the water. I think he said if he will crush your bones and your clothes and everything left. Or you can wear a suit. We have an extra one. It's like one of the few
Marvel humor.
Yeah. Few little dash of humor.
Yeah.
Sprinkle of humor.
Even though his character throughout the whole rest of the movie was comic accurate with his realness and his directness and everything else and his seriousness and everything, because his character is pretty much that way.
Yes. He intimidated the whole country and didn't yell once, not once. And then we're like, "What do you mean?" You go like, "Yes, I will kill you." I'm not joking. I'm not talking in metaphors for you to understand. I will come up here and flood your whole country. Don't play with me. Don't you dare speak my name. You know, it's kind of like Kingpin. And remember the first season of Daredevil when his sidekick, I can't think of his name at the time. Now, the skinny dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
We don't say his name. He's like, his name was like, don't you say my name or that I even exist. All my people exist outside of Wakanda. Or I will come and I will kill you. It's like, sheesh.
You gotta be serious. The seriousness of it. You gotta have that tone and everything. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, but the visual thing, underwater kind of stuff. I mean, I think they spend a lot of time in caves talking. You know, it was only like one or two speeches that were in the water. Everything else was like in a cave near the water we can get to. I mean, it was smart, but hey, it is what it is. So now we got the negative out the way. Boom, 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 pow. I would like to say there are people saying at the end of the movie was kind of misogynistic because after all of that, the character development, Shuri and all that, you still put a man in at the throne, and you gave T'Challa a son, which means at some point you think he's going to take the throne, and Shuri's never been on the throne, which I don't particularly understand because if you look at Shuri's development within the movie, the throne, she kind of sees the throne as the death of her family. Like the people who sat on it have all died because of the weight of the throne, the pressures that come with it, the attacks that come to you with being on the throne. I mean,
well, it's that and a mixture of she's not a traditionalist, so she doesn't care for the throne anyway, and being in that kind of charge. She prefers to just be in the lab and live her life through the lab and advancements
she
through
is the
society.
futurist. She's a futurist, and she's looking towards the future to them better her power, kind of missing the tradition. I think she's kind of getting back to that. It's like that's why she went to go to burn the funeral garments, like as a sign of the end of the grieving period. I mean, like someone like she really don't even believe in the afterlife. The very first thing she says in the whole movie, when it's like black before her doors open to her life, she say, "If you can help me save my brother, I will never question your existence again." Like she doesn't even believe in bats. So she's very much. I'm saying like call it atheist. Some people who don't believe in a God just like, look, this is the life we live, and you gotta do the best with what we got. It's kind of like that, but hey. All right, so now we got the negative out the way because it ain't that much. Dang, let's get into the goods. Let's get into the pros. It's what you love the most. What are you feeling in your heart and soul? What made you think this movie?
The thing I liked the most was Nakia's character. She had a small role compared to the previous movie, but
I'm sorry, man. I think we lost you a little bit. Don't know why. So hold on real quick as I try to get Dan back. So hold on real quick. I'm gonna try to get Dan back as soon as he gets his thing. My pro is, I think we got him back already. Dang, just that fast. And you back?
Yeah. I left.
Yeah, you had froze for a quick second, so I took you out because the way your face froze, it was the most unflattering.
That's not good. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. so all I heard, it didn't even get to your pros. You like you had to think out, and then it just froze. I was like,
cool. Oh well, I'm back. But yeah, my pro was Nakia. I like Nakia. She had a small role. She definitely didn't have as big role as she did before. But when she stepped on the screen, it was all her. She took over the screen and everything. So yeah, Nakia was my positive moment for that movie and everything. The plot was straightforward, so it was like, we get where we're going. I know what I'm getting into and everything. And my other great thing about the movie was also somebody who didn't have that big of a role, but did take full advantage of their screen time was in Baku. Baku was he was very very strong in his role and everything and what he did and how he dealt with each situation and how he changed and adjusted to each situation that became in front of him and everything. So yeah, that was a good thing about him and everything. Very good thing about him. And the fight scenes were decent, so I did like them. They weren't as strong, but
fight scenes had consequences.
Yeah.
Real consequences. Real he attacked Wakanda.
Yeah,
it was legit consequences.
Yeah, and war brought about those consequences. But yeah, that's about it. Those were the good things I liked. Those which happen to be people were the things I liked the most that stood out for me in this movie and everything.
I mean, We'll talk about your favorite characters and your least favorite characters in a second. You know what I mean?
Falling apart.
That's the life. Speaking of falling apart, you know what? I was about to do a terrible transition. That ain't work. Though my favorite part, the thing I love the most, I would have to probably say, I would say the storytelling, but that's not really necessarily what I would say. The way it dealt with things, and some of the speeches that are in this movie, like really got to me. Like Ramonda, her speech on the throne room after she dismissed Okoye as the general of the army, of the Dormalage in the army. I mean, I heard it in the trailer, so we knew it was coming. But when you hear the whole thing from beginning to end, and she broke down like all your failures and like how you're holding on to every little bit of tradition and not seeing that Killmonger was a threat, which kind of led to this. And all your actions not bothering me, and I had to go run to a Baki for protection. And then my son thought was dead, he's come back and he's died, and my husband's dead, and I told you not to take my daughter. I told you she wasn't ready, and you didn't protect her out there. Now she's kidnapped, maybe even dead. Ooh. Oh my gosh. That entire speech, I was like, young. That's emotional. I was like, honestly, in my heart, I was like, she ain't wrong. You had that kind of failure as the general, the army. Maybe it's time for you to go. Get demoted. I understand where she was coming from. I think she might have overboarded, but I'm not wanting to disagree with her. I was like, you did lose the princess. After I told you she shouldn't be out there. You convinced me you could take care of her. And you didn't. Somebody else needs to do this. How do you pronounce his name? Alligatorian 207. I think I said that right. If I didn't, so very sorry, because I don't think that's a real word. So he don't like the fact that they made Namor Latino. I have no comment. I didn't have an issue with the prop. I didn't have an issue with it at all. It made sense from a story perspective. Because nobody's ever can say where Atlantis is from. Like, it changes with every mythos. So they put their own spin on it, and you can't have them so close to Aquaman. And they made Aquaman, was he Hawaiian, Pacific Islander? It makes sense to have people, if you're going to be a water nation, to have people who are islands by water nations. It's a natural thing. And, hey, it is what it is. So that's why I really like the story's perspective. I like the consequences. That's the best thing I can say. Consequences in this movie, absolutely love. Things change to the point where you can't go back and fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like Infinity War. It had consequences, but they went back and fixed it. Yeah. Endgame had consequences. There's no going back and fix it. No going back and getting Black Widow. Maybe you can go back and get a Captain America. Maybe from the past. I don't know. Tony Stark is dead. He's dead. It was like the consequences. I love consequences. It just makes a better thing for me. That's my pro. The consequences.
Yeah, they definitely show the consequences for everything in this one. You want to go to war? People gotta die.
People of power gotta die, not the soldiers. People of power.
Yeah, and then a lot of people died when they had their final battle scene, which was very questionable. Why you wanted to go to their strong?
Okay, hold on. First of all, it was questionable, but they had a solid plan in the beginning. Their plan was to capture Namor in the thing and retreat and get up out of there. The problem is they had way too big of a ship to get out of there. Now, you cannot have that ship that size to think you're going to be able to get back from the middle of the ocean back to Wakanda. That just ain't going to happen. That was the issue I had with that.
I had an issue because none of that made sense. But other than all these smart people, are you going to let her give you that kind of plan?
Well, nobody wanted the war to come back to Wakanda. They still had that in it. And so it was no having the war in Wakanda. We're not going for round 2 in Wakanda. They already decimated us. We're not prepared for that. Maybe our best chance is go to them, catch them off surprise.
Your best chance was definitely not go to them. You could have drew them out like the mom did. The mom, like when they went to go rescue Shuri, Shuri, the mom drew him away. That specifically drew him away by calling on the shell, while Nakia went and go rescue the daughter. You could have found another way to separate him from them instead of going to start a straight up war in the middle of the ocean.
I think
when you're land-based people.
Well, you can't. Where else you gonna fight on land? You can't fight in Wakanda. That's already decimated. The people is decimated. You can't fight there. And secondly,
I think that desert that you took them to.
I mean, you could, but I think their plan was try to get. Well, the plan was to go back to Wakanda. I think the backup plan was to get them to the desert and fight.
No, their main plan was to get them to the desert. That's what she wanted.
No, that was not the main plan. I just saw the movie again. I'm telling you. When they took down the ship to make it stop moving, because I'm gonna say his second general, because he had two go hard people, the big dude, and then the lady, the woman. They didn't really say the names, and I can't remember from the book.
What, Atuma and Amora?
Yeah, Amora, that's the female one, right?
Namora.
Yeah, she took out the engine. Their plan was not to have that whole army come, because remember in the first time you saw them, they only came with a small contingent of people to take out the ship, and they didn't know it was Wakanda. They thought it was another American vessel coming, using the machine to find vibranium. So they thought they were gonna come with that same little group, and they did actually. Their first group was to come with that. Their first thought was to come with that, like a surgeons. I think that's the word. I can't. Yeah, that joint is just not staying up. But and the surgeons of people, just a small group of soldiers to take out another American or vessel or whatever. So that's what they came with. It wasn't until after they realized it was Wakanda, they kind of called in the backups. And I think they knew that. I think their plan was to get out before. And when that didn't fit, that failed. That's when Shuri said, "Oh, Corey, time for Plan B." And Plan B was to get them back to the desert. Problem is, they didn't make it to the desert. But Plan B was to get them to the desert. It just didn't work out. So, it is what it is. I can understand why everybody say you don't go to the ocean, but you can't go to Wakanda and fight because they already decimated, and you are not ready for them in Wakanda. You just ain't.
You ain't had nobody in the city. There was nobody in the city in the first place. You could have turned that city into a straight up your advantage. They could have flooded that city because you had everybody in the mountains. What were they going to do? They going to walk their behind to them cold mountains? I don't think so.
They would have.
Bring them back to the city and turn the whole city into a battleground.
Yeah, but then you can't do that as a ruler because you just can't, because the problem is that even if you win the war, you might be so decimated that it's not even worth it. Like, yeah, you might have won, but you lost too much.
That's okay. We rebuild. You always rebuild. Everybody always rebuilds.
Yeah, but then you talk about a moral thing. It's the whole thing. You got to remember, Wakanda ain't never got like that. They're not even ready for that kind of loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you've seen the last season of Stranger Things, right?
Huh?
And you've seen the last season of Stranger Things, season 4?
Yeah.
Right. Remember at the end of the joint, it was like the 11's never lost like that. She really doesn't know what to do. Because she lost. She lost to number 1. That's how Wakanda was like.
No. See, the first problem was they should have never. The first time Namor got in the whole city is when they should have upped their defenses, which didn't make sense. That's another con, another bad part on them. Ain't nobody who ain't never been broken into all of a sudden let somebody in the second time all over again and have a sneak attack at them. When they broke into the city and snuck up on the queen and the princess the first time, and everybody was like, "Yo, we don't know how they got in." That's when you start putting barriers up. You putting like cement in all the waterway. All your waterways get blocked. Forget sensors, block them. I mean, put up gates and stuff. How did a whole little army, army get back in there a second time? That
would not have stopped them. Cement gate, that would
you
not
would at least had a warning. They didn't have no warning the second time they attacked, or the second time they got in there. It was just a big old surprise attack. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Y'all the most technologically advanced city in the world, and y'all trying to tell me they got in twice without y'all knowing?
Well, I think Shuri thought they was going to have more time. Because remember, when she got taken out, like this, like when the people who were holding her got killed by, what's her name? Come on. Black Panther's ex-girl. Not his ex-girl.
Nakia?
Yeah. I was about to say stupid. Nakia, when Nakia came and saved Shuri and killed those people, she was like, this is going to start a war. She's like, we got to save her because you don't understand it's going to start a war. And then when they got back, as soon as Shuri got back, she's like, hey, we need to get the defenses up. All that stuff. And then next thing you know, there was a scene with people talking. I'm talking about this all in the same day. And they came and killed her. Like, it wasn't like a few weeks ahead of time. They were. As soon as Shuri got back, that day, they came. And they went to war. They didn't wait. It wasn't like Russia.
Okay, first of all, no. First of all, she ain't the only one in an entire country full of people. The entire rest of the country should have figured out how to put up goddamn defenses. She has a whole science team out there. Don't try to put this on her. Oh, yeah, she's gone.
I'm not putting it. Whoa. I didn't put anything on. I'm not assessing blame. I'm explaining the quickness of which they attacked. Like, as soon as she got there, they were attacking within the hour. I don't care how technically advanced you are. You can't prepare for attack in an hour. Especially you don't know which way they're coming from because you have waters everywhere around your country. Yeah. You protect the border, but they obviously can get through that easily. Now, but I would say
they still had time. They had over a day.
They did not have over a day.
They did have over a day. What are you talking about?
You talking about from the first time he got there?
Yeah.
Yeah, after that, it kind of went off the rails after that. I could give you that one. I can grant you that. But I would say shit went off the rails after that. Because they were trying to figure out how he got in there. And then when Shuri left, because remember, she got there that day, the next day, Shuri was out the country. She's the head scientist. That's her.
Yeah, you still got the rest of the country. You got the Dora Milaje, the rest of the Dora Milaje, the rest of the whole country defense. You got an entire country full of people that should have been able to have been like set up the defenses. The dang on, what was it? The Water Tribe? They out there embarrassed because everybody was yelling at them like, how'd y'all let this happen? They should have been setting up defenses and everything. You got the border people. The border people should have been setting up defenses too. Like, they crossed into our border, be it land or water, they still crossed the border. That was a big, like, come on, really? Like, you know for sure, if you leave your door unlocked, if you live like people in Canada leave their doors unlocked, but they have locks on the door. If somebody decides to just walk in your front door all of a sudden, once you get them out the door, you're going to turn around and lock the door. There goes your defense right there. Come on.
I understand what you're saying, but if the person who's supposed to approve all that is not in the country, you can set it all up, but it doesn't get approved till she's there. And Queen Ramonda is not going to approve it until Shuri looks at it.
No.
That's just how it goes. You can say no, but that's how it goes.
No, it doesn't how it goes.
No, that's not how you want it to go.
No, that's not how it goes.
They don't make
They got people. Why you think they got a whole group of people that sit there and make the decisions? All the tribes and everybody are in there. The Queen don't make decisions by herself. They all get the vote.
No, they don't get a vote. They give counsel, and then the ruler makes the vote. It's just like it's not. You're thinking of everybody gets a vote, and then the majority wins. It's not like that. It's we all give counsel, and then whoever's in charge makes the final decision. And whether they took your advice or not, it is what it is. There's not a vote here.
There's no way Queen Ramonda was not going to approve of any extra defenses until her daughter got back.
Think it's going to work.
That sounds ridiculous.
You can up your defenses to a point, but what they needed was something new. They're not going to do nothing new without their head scientists to make sure it works. It just is what it is. Dang, you can say you could put locks on your door, right? Let's say you're a kid, right? Or not even a kid. Let's say you're a teenager. And you're like, all right, somebody broke in the house. My parents are out of town. I need to put a lock on the door. You can look at all the locks and like, I think this one is going to work and this one like that. But you're not allowed to put a lock on that door So you have approval from your parents, correct?
It's not the same.
It is the same. You can set it all up, but I can't initiate it until the person whose job is to make sure it works properly can do that. That person was not there.
No, it's not the same.
How
It's not the same
it is
at
the
all.
same. There's a chain of command. There's a process through which to go to. There's no skipping the process. Especially
I'll tell you one thing. That's one part in the whole movie I would have changed. I would have got rid of those scenes. If anything, I would have got rid of those scenes with Agent Ross and then showed them making improvements on Wakanda and everything in their defenses before they got attacked. That's what I would have did. There's a change. There's a change I would have made.
I mean, we weren't at that point while we're here. Changes you would make.
And I would have cut the movie down. That's the other change I would have made, which I already talked about. Chop that sucker down. No, sir, we're not going with no 2 hours and 40-something minutes. No, sir.
Here we are.
Here
we are. We damn sure chop a Riri, like you said. That's just asinine. It's just absurd. It's crazy. All right. My man has said they turned Namor into, I can't pronounce that word. I don't even know what that word is. That like a real word? I'm not going to Google it. I don't know what that. It seems like this guy has a problem with the way they changed Namor to Latino. I just don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I don't have an issue with that. Now, do you have an issue with that?
Marvel's a bit no. Marvel's been changing the stories of their origin stories and the stories of their characters in general since they put them on MCU. So it is what it is. It is. They feel as though they want to make changes. They don't want everything, especially don't want everything to be. They don't want y'all to get comfortable and think that everything's going to be comic accurate when it gets on screen. That's pretty much what they've been doing. I don't know why people are still surprised when they change stuff and everything. Like Marvel made it clear when they do these things that we'll take stuff out of the comics and everything, but we're not going to exact it.
First of all, changes from the comics have to be made anyway to update with what's going on now. When these characters are made back in the 30s and 40s, when they believed black people didn't read comic books or anybody else other than white people read comic books, so they made all the characters that way. You have to make the change like that. You have to have the representation that actually makes sense in today's world. Like for instance, I to this day don't believe that the Iron Fist should be and the white guy who traveled to Asia and learned all their customs and imported. Now he is the last Iron Fist. That makes absolutely no sense. You can be Asian American. You can't just have all white. That's the same thing with what was it? Tom
Cruise.
They
changed that in the comics too. They just recently did it.
Like Tom Cruise, and he was the last samurai. Like, how does that even make sense? Or Gods of Egypt, when nobody was black? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Wasn't Chadwick Boseman in that?
I never watched it. I didn't even give it a chance. I saw the poster and I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching this.
I think Chadwick was in that one too. It was funny. Yeah, that's what I would it was changes to be made. Those are the changes I would make and everything. And if I could, I might try to fit in a little bit more Killmonger.
Oh, speaking of Killmonger, favorite characters. Dan, go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna go because I teased it already.
Nakia.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, that's you. I said I was gonna go anyway. Favorite character, Killmonger. That speech he gave, I swear on everything I love, I was ready to get up and start a revolution. Everything he said, I was with it. I was like, my gosh, Killmonger was right. It hasn't changed from the beginning. I swear to gosh, I will live in his Wakanda. I will fight in his army. Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, my favorite character. That's literally my favorite part of the entire movie. Is when she walked around, he was standing there just chilling like this. Hey, cuz. Both times in the theater. Both times. I was like, oh, this is great. I was tapping my mom and sister, like, because I knew it was coming up. Like, yeah, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part right here, baby. It's my favorite part. Like, well, I was like, this is my favorite one's about to come up. He was like, and then walked out, and she walked the counter, and the whole theater. You remember the first time? I know you remember the opening night when they were like, oh, same thing happened. Now and then, I'm like, oh, he's back. Oh, oh, I loved it so much. Dang, I loved it so much. Woo. He's like, nah, that's bullshit. I was like, oh gosh, he needs to get an Oscar for best supporting actor. And just that one scene. Yes, I stand by it. I absolutely stand by it. There's nothing anybody can say that will ever change my mind. I will die on that hill. I will die on. There's a few hills I will die on. Zack Snyder's Justice League is one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Killmonger is one of the greatest MCU characters of all time. And Avengers, just another one. Oh, Ninja Turtles is top 3 comic book movie. The first one. Die on those hills. I damn sure gonna die on the Ninja Turtle hill. Like, for real. I will accept slander of anything, a bad opinion about anything, except the Ninja Turtles. I draw a line right there. There's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I hear you and everything, but yeah, my favorite character was easily Nakia. It was Nakia, and it was probably Nakia and M'Baku. They were my favorite characters and everything.
M'Baku was my number 2. I forgot. M'Baku was my number 2. But it's
still Nakia and M'Baku. Whenever they stepped on the scene, it was just straightforward, no problems, no issues. Held the screen well, did their roles. It was just, yeah, I loved. Nakia looked even Lupita Nyong'o looked as beautiful as ever before on that screen, and I was just like, wow, okay. I didn't like that. I tell you, I know it's a little off, but I didn't like the fact that they hid that they had a child. Yeah, spoiler. That T'Challa and Nakia had a child together, and the child was raised in a whole other country, just like Killmonger. I was like, wait, this is feeling like some Killmonger.
Well, hold on. Story. Not like he was some distant child.
He was distant.
His father knew about him.
He was distant.
His father knew about him. His grandmother knew about him. Now, for whatever reason, they didn't tell Auntie. Don't know why.
For whatever reason, he who was raised in his own country didn't want to raise his own child with his own people. I was like, okay. I was like, they had to write something. I don't know if I didn't feel like that was the best way to go about it.
I tell you right now.
You know what? I do like the fact that there is another T'Challa out there.
A lot of people loved it. I can tell you that right now. And it kind of makes sense because that the pressure of the throne. They said like they didn't want to raise him with the pressure of the throne. Plus, it gives. It was a what movie was that? I think it was one of the Avengers animated movie when they had Black Panther when they I know I remember that movie. I just don't remember which one it is. I have it somewhere. I'm not about to go through my list of old DVDs. But his father sent him to go learn in America so he could have a better world view of everything that's going on in the world. T'Chaka sent T'Challa to study in the world. Like he still knew of Wakanda, and like he knew of Wakanda, but he was gone for a while. Like a long not like you send your kids out of the country to learn and then you come back so they can have a better world view of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So that would happen. So yeah, it's fine. So I'm sorry, I was trying to read this thing. All right, so let's get into the comments for a second. Daryl Taylor, like, do you know Killmonger is still a mass murderer? What he was planning to do with their attack and their weapons? Absolutely. And I don't disagree with him. You want to talk about mass murderers. This country, this world is filled with leaders who are mass murderers. You're going to blame one guy for doing it? You might as well. If you're going to go that route, you have to blame everybody. And I mean everyone. And Namor he said Namor because he handled his business was on his plan was to be a murderer of a kid because they invented something, and then have Wakanda help them be a mass murderer, destroy the surface world. So you can't say one without the other. He also had my man Daryl's comment a lot. I like this guy. They did not want the son to be involved in the kingdom politics, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Kind of giving away from the pressure so he can have a world view of everything. Maybe come back when he's like 10, 11, 12, and it kind of started from there. I think that was the plan. And call it a day. And here we go, Dan. This might be way out. T'Chaka Jr. going to get them. It's going to get with Storm. That means the X-Men you make now about to be super young. That means you ain't going to get the X-Men until another 10, 15 years. Sheesh. 10 years would be what? 15?
I can tell you this though, they more or less place the timeline on how old Namor is. When in the comics they always say in the comics he's the first mutant and stuff. So they put a timeline on it for sure officially. As far as mutants are concerned, Namor is the first.
Well, he said he was a mutant in the movie. I keep saying the thing. He said
they say it in the comics all the time. He's the first mutant and everything. Well, this lets you know he's one of the first for sure. Being born in the 1500s?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, he was still looking like a kid when his mom was dead at like 60 or 70 years old or whatever she was and everything. He was still a kid. A grown kid at that.
A kid with no love.
Man, age is slow. He ages 10 years per 50?
I mean, it might be a little lower than that.
Right.
It might be actually much lower than that.
I can see why his people saw him as a dang god. He's been around for hundreds of years, so of course his people are seeing him as a god. Yeah, shoot, that man he's the one who probably repopulated this whole country.
There's a theory online that the reason he keeps calling everybody his child is because he's made them. And if he didn't make them, they're like his grandkids. They're like distant. Everybody's related from that guy. I tell you that.
They are at this point. The Genghis Khan theory.
Yeah. All right, Dan. Who's your least favorite character?
I don't know if I had a least favorite character. I suppose the one who I just didn't care for as much was Agent Ross. He didn't serve any purpose for me. But everybody else was neutral. Everybody was on the same thing. I'm pretty much on the same page. There was nobody in there that I was just more or less like, they're ruining the movie for me. They're doing terrible. It was like, everybody had a role to play, and they played their role. They didn't overdo. Nobody really overstepped their boundary. I mean, I would have just gave them less screen time to Ross and Riri. Just gave them more screen time, but nobody really stood out there as like, oh, that's a bad guy.
I don't really have a least favorite character, but the person I guess I can deal without would probably be those two people. The two people who represented the government, like the president's interest in that meeting with General Ross and Valentine. Those two people. And I guess it's because they said the president wants to destabilize Wakanda. Number one, how you gonna do that? It's just I don't know how you destabilize Wakanda. It's like coming to my house and trying to destabilize my house. Everybody knows we have a hierarchy here. Who knows who's in charge. You're not gonna come over here and start throwing demands. I kick everybody out. Like, you think you're gonna come tell me what to do in my house? Lost your goddamn mind. Get out. And out.
They do it in other countries all the time. Killmonger did it.
No, but you can't do it to
I was about to say, ain't that what Killmonger did?
He didn't destabilize. He usurped. There's a difference. And he didn't break any rules. He
did both. He did both. We don't know his whole history. He did both.
He did not destabilize Wakanda. He took his birthright to challenge for the throne.
No. I'm talking about what his job was for the CIA and stuff, for special
No, he
forces.
destabilized. I'm saying he didn't destabilize Wakanda. I'm saying Wakanda is the outlier. You know, like you could everybody. There's a rule, and there's always an outlier to a rule. Wakanda is the outlier to the rule. You're not going to destabilize Wakanda. It is what it is.
He kind of did though.
He didn't destabilize. He exercised his right as a royalty to challenge for the throne. At the time he threw T'Challa off the bridge, he was the king of he didn't like usurp them and have political. He like follow the rules.
He did.
How did he not follow the rules?
The challenge had already been done.
He was not granted the challenge because he wasn't there because of the former king keeping him out the country on purpose and killing his father. His birthright had him in a check, has him as he can make a challenge for the throne. Now, unless there was a rule that says, "Oh, we can't do it, you miss your chance," they didn't say that at all. They just said it'll take weeks to get everybody involved. So they didn't say, "Oh, you gotta. This is only a certain time you can do it." Like, hey, look, I'm challenging my right. Like he has the right. He had won the challenge. Well, we thought, and he as a king, it's now your job to make what you think is the best decision. And his best decision was, we're gonna take Wakanda, we're gonna spread it out, we're gonna take over the world. It's not destabilizing Wakanda. That's just how he wanted to rule. It is what it is.
He destabilized Wakanda.
Oh my gosh! I just broke that whole thing down and no. Oh my gosh! Oh.
Yeah. That's other than everything I said negative about the thing, what did we miss about as this review goes? I know
we're about to do the ratings, and do you have it better or worse than the first one? And is it in your top 10 MCU? We'll do a ranking later.
I'm not worried about ranking.
Everybody should be worried about ranking. 3 new movies got added this year. You gotta rank at least the top 15 minimum. You ain't doing all 30. It's like quarterbacks in the NFL. It's 32 of them. After 15, you really don't care. Like the rest of them, you ain't gonna make. That's how I feel about this.
If you make it to 15.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I can make it to 15 on the MCU. After that, you switch a lot of stuff around.
Not anymore. I can't make it to 15 anymore. I give you 5.
We'll discuss that another moment. So, Dan, where are you rating this movie?
This movie is a 9. It's a definite 9.
Flat out 9?
Flat out 9. Had time to think about it. It was too long. I didn't like the visuals on the Telecon. Didn't like him having a sun down there. Where you find the sun at all the way down? Where'd you get that from?
He's made it from vibranium.
He made it, and it just bright, like it just shine like that.
Hey, bro, vibranium is the magic metal in this world. It can do
the magic metal. It is a magic metal.
It's a magic metal in the MCU. It's a fix-all. Okay, so you can't say it's a fix-all. They didn't have a problem with it earlier, and they have a problem with it now.
And they didn't put up the defenses, and they didn't fix their defenses after he got in there the first time. That's a big issue for me. I don't care what nobody says, man. Big issue for me.
I got this movie at a 9.5. Yeah, it's a 9.5. The General Ross stuff. I mean, not General Ross. Agent
Ross.
Yeah, Ross. So there's an Agent Ross and there's a General Ross. Going to be the Red Hawk. They should have did better. Should have made better names back in the day. But General Ross thing, his storyline kind of was pointless. I mean, he was just there to give him a lead. After that, really didn't need him. I guess you kind of had to he was there, now you got to finish the story. At least you know where he's gonna be at. I guess he's about to be the only white guy in Wakanda. They
ain't gonna let him in.
They rescued him. What do
leave him out there? Leave him out there in the field.
Huh?
Put him out there.
Where he's going? He ain't gonna be in America doing it.
He wasn't in America in the first movie when they found him. He was in the field or whatever.
Yeah, but he was in the field as an American agent.
Yeah, he knows how to be a spy. Him and Okoye. Since Okoye is not part of Okoye is no longer officially part of the Dora Milaje. he gonna be part of her little covert special ops team.
I guess he's gonna be. They're gonna be based out of Wakanda.
You can always use a white man out in the field.
That's fair because he can blend in, but his base will be in Wakanda. I'm just saying that it is. I got a 9.5.
We'll still keep him out of. We'll still keep him out of Wakanda. We'll still keep him
out. So you're gonna give him all the pressures to doing stuff for Wakanda, but don't let him actually be in Wakanda.
He only been there one other time before. He ain't missing nothing. What he missing?
He ain't get a chance to see everything. That's what he missing.
Man, get that man a hotel at the Hilton. He'll be all right.
Where in the Hilton? He can't be in Wakanda.
Yeah. No, I said give him a hotel room at the Hilton. He'll be all right.
Where's this Hilton go? What country is the Hilton going to be in?
He's going to be in a hotel, so he's moving from country to country. He'll be all right. Call the key up. She'll tell him how to do this.
One or so, just like even Captain America wasn't in America when he was an outlaw. You think Agent Ross going to be? That's Captain America. Damn, here we go. Are you ready? Gator ratings. You said a 9. I said a 9.5. Do you think it's better than the first Black Panther?
No. If anything, it's right on par with it. At best, it's on par with. At best, it will be on par with it. But nah, I like the first one better.
I reserve judgment. I'm about to rewatch. Well, I can't rewatch Wakanda Forever. I've already watched it twice. I'm gonna watch Black Panther. Actually, when they both come out, I can watch them both, like on my phone or TV. Then I watch them back to back, and then I'll let you know that. So give me 3 to 4 months. I'll give you the answer to that question.
No, Killmonger trumps everything.
I was thinking that, and I'm leading that way. I'm leading that way, but I don't want to go all the way into that way yet.
All right, I just did. Just that quick, I just thought about it. I was like, yeah, Killmonger was a better villain than Namor. So we're going to first Black Panther.
All right, so I got something for you right quick. Oh, real quick, just a quick thought. Do you think it's in the top 10 of the MCU movies?
It's too early to say.
Too early? Ooh. Take your time and think about it. Because we got a rankings coming up. Sometime soon. Be ready. Top 15. Be ready. No, I don't want that. Hold on. Real quick. I got something for you, Dan. I want your thoughts on this real fast.
Me and the rest of the people.
Now, I want your thoughts on this. This is going to be real interesting. I saw this from Head Nerds in Charge on their Instagram, and I saw it. I was like, I got to ask Dan, but I want to make sure I put him on the spot because I'm kind of a jerk. It is what it is. Dan, where is it at? Come on, work. Booyah shaka! What if Namor had approached King Killmonger before he was dethroned? How do you think that would have went?
It depends. Would he approach him the same way he approached Shuri and the Queen?
Same way.
Then no, he's not one to take threats lightly like that. You're not going to tell him what to do. So he wouldn't have done what you wanted. He would have definitely not done what you wanted. And if at best or at worst, he would have tried to partner with you. He'd be like, oh, you got this big army. Show me what y'all can really do. Like, y'all go out there and do this and do that and everything. If y'all are so powerful, what you need me for? What do you mean nobody knows who you are now? You took down other things without anybody knowing. But get out of here. No. He would have at worst, he would have captured Riri and then try to use her as a bargaining chip instead of just handing her over, because he's all about Black power. So he's not going to kill another Black person just like that over somebody he's never met before coming in there and saying, I don't want my secrets out. You work for me now. Go get her and kill her or I'm taking all y'all out. He ain't going to take nicely to a threat like that. You're not going to threaten him in his country. Just because you got in quietly. For sure, Killmonger would have been up in the defenses, getting our weapons ready, building a waterway, blocking the waterway and stuff like that. Like, you would have never, like, how did he get in here? That was the first question Killmonger would have asked everybody. We're the most technologically advanced country in the world. How'd he get in here?
And you will not let that go. Anyway.
You think he would?
All right. So the first thing I think he would have did.
The man's a military trained guy.
You gonna ask me a question, now let me answer the question. All right. First thing he would have did was that conversation. It would have been the most intense, threatening, without a single yep, raising of the voice I've ever seen in my life. Just two leaders who don't take no BS at all and have no cut cards, threaten each other, in which how they're going to each one of them is going to kill the other one and their people. It's just off the rip. Then after that conversation, I think he would have actually went to go find Riri and try to use her to go find the rest of the vibranium in the world. Like that's what I think he would have used it for. To go get the rest of the vibranium. Then when he got the vibranium, he would have took that. So because he want to make sure he have all the power. And then he would have tried to find Namor, and he would have went after them. Because you threaten his people. I don't think they would have worked at all. I think he would have went after him. Quick, fast, and hurt. And you would have had a whole movie of wartime. It's just been like, we lost this battle. Now we're going to set this up another way. We're going to go down his people with our boats and our machines and vibranium, and we're going to tear them apart. They won't see us coming for a mile. Like that's how I think I would have went. Like it would have been war after war, like battle after battle, and like this movie wouldn't have ended. It would have ended with two countries who were once powerhouses in secret, devastated, and the world's finally finding out there's way more than they're ready for, and it would have just upped their defenses.
He would have leaked it. He definitely would have somehow, some way found and been like, "Oh, you don't what? All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell everybody about you because they already know about me. And if you and then you can go ahead and come after me if you want, but everybody coming after you right afterwards. You ain't no way you can destroy us and then not your secret not be out there. Everybody gonna know. Like he would know. He would know that's your weakness is you don't want nobody to know who you are. So that right there is instantly how I'm taking advantage of you. I'm going to sit there and expose you. Your biggest fear is to be exposed. That's my trump card. I'm going to expose you. And I'm not only am I going to expose you, I'm going to make it a big deal too. Get out of here. Yeah, right.
I don't think he would expose him. I think he would have took him out. I honestly think he would have took him out. Or took Namor out, like try to take over the country, said, look, now y'all work for us. You're the C version of Wakanda. Like now you work for me. Now you guys are under our rule. You're not under our protection, you're under our rule. Now you patrol the ocean, you patrol the water for Wakanda. And make no mistake about it. If you ever try to come into our country and get from under our rule, all of you will perish. I don't think he would have used the word perish though. But it would definitely been that. It would have been two people trying to take over each other's country. Devastating, and neither one would be better off. Would have been great fights though.
Killmonger would have been extra mad that you're disrupting his plans from trying to take over the world and free his people. Yeah, he would have looked at you like, I'm trying to free my people from the oppression. Your people aren't under any oppression at all of everything. Get it? You can wait. See, you can wait. I'm about to wage war against the world. Matter of fact, I do need an ally. You're right. I do need. That's how. Actually, now I think about it, Killmonger would have made that deal. He'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna find her and I'm gonna keep her, and I'm going to wage war. We're not going to give her to you because you're angry. What? You get out of here. Get out of here.
No, he wasn't angry. Namor wasn't angry. He was protective. That's right. Namor. I don't think Namor got angry until
he got his wing chopped off.
No, I think he was angry when they used him they drew him out from I can't pronounce the name of his.
Oh, when he killed the queen? Yeah, he was angry then.
Yeah, but what made him angry is that Nakia killed one of his people. I think that's what did it.
Yeah, because he came in there with a vengeance. He was flying and everything.
He was flying all the time, but
that was a good question. That's an interesting what if.
Yeah, I like it. I look, everybody. That's all our time the next time. Dan, you got any parting words for the people before I send this all out?
As always, support the comic book industry. If you want to keep seeing comic book movies get made, by all means, go watch Black Panther, Wakanda Forever again. Go to your local comic book store, buy some comic books, and keep the comic book industry going strong and everything. Come on now. Let's go, people.
Bump all that. Don't bump all that, because I'm never going to say that. That's the wrong word. Before you do that, go see Wakanda Forever again. You don't even have to go see it. Just go buy the ticket, like I did last time. Y'all were buying tickets for Black Panther just to get it to the record. Didn't even go after the second time. Just do that, okay? I've already bought enough extra tickets. I need you guys' help. Let's get it to $1 billion, okay? All right.
Yeah.
I know the
Spider-Man to $1 billion. Goddamn, you get Black Panther $1 billion again.
I know the MCU has given you a lot of in Phase 4. This is not one of those movies. This is a gem. It's a gem. Gotta watch this movie, guys. Look, that's all our time. The next time, we got a lot of stuff coming up. I got a lot of stuff in my head that I got to get out. So, with that being said, I got to find a way to structure it. I might even have to take notes. I hate taking notes.
Write stuff down.
My brain doesn't work like that. My notes are terrible. They're all over the place. They are all over the place. Look, Eric, that's all I tell the next time. We out. Before I go, I'm going to spit a few bars. And Dan, you know I go hard